Hello, dear students. So now today we would move ahead in this chapter number 7 of class 6 science, that is getting to know plants. Okay. So previously I have taught to you about the parts of the plants. Okay. So let me write it again. Parts of plant. So there are two main parts of a plant. You would see the first one is the vegetative part and second one is the reproductive part. Already you have written this. Okay. So vegetative parts, we have three vegetative parts here. Okay. So first one is the root that we have already discussed, and then the second vegetative part is the stem. Okay. And third one is the leaf here. Okay. Now today we will discuss the second vegetative part, that is the stem. Okay. So let's discuss the stem. So if you see, there are two main functions of a stem. There are two main functions of a stem. So can you tell me the functions of the stem? Yes. First function of the stem is to transport the water and mineral to the leaf. Okay. Where the food processing would take place. Okay. Then after the second function is there, the processed food would be transported to all parts of the plant. Okay. So these are two main functions of the stem. So what is the function? What is the first function? First function is transportation of the water and mineral from the soil to the leaf. Okay. And the second function is to transport the processed food. Okay. So these are the two main functions of a stem. So let me write it here. There are two main functions of stem. First one is to transport water and mineral to the leaf, and second important function of the stem is to transport the processed food. Transport the process. So these are two main functions of a stem. Okay. Now if you see, these two functions are carried by the two main vessels which are there in the stem. The stem is having two main vessels for carrying out the function. Okay. For transportation of water, there we have different vessels, and for transportation of the processed foods, then again we would have their different vessels. Okay. So there are two different vessels for these two different functions there. Okay. So let me write it here. There are two vessels in stem to carry out the functions. Okay. What are those? First one is xylem and second one is phloem. So xylem and phloem, these are the two vessels in the stem there. What is the function of the xylem? Xylem transport the water to the leaf. Okay. It transport the water. So transportation of water would be carried out by the xylem, which is there in the stem, and the transportation of the processed food would be carried out by the phloem. Okay. Transport the processed food. So these are the two main vessels which carry out the function of a stem. Okay. Now we have the two different experiments. With the help of this, we can prove whether the xylem and phloem are there in the stem or not. Okay. Suppose if you take a leaf, let's say this is the leaf. Okay. Suppose if you take a leaf having a stem like this. Okay. Now if you closely look into the stem, This is the stem. Okay, now if you look closely into the stem here, you would find out small vessels there. So these are xylem and phloem. Okay, so these two different vessels you would see there in case of the leaf. Okay, so let me write this all here now. So now these are the two case studies which show the presence of xylem and phloem in the stem. Okay, the first one is if you take a leaf and look into the cross section, or look into the stem of the leaf here closely, so you would find out small vessels are running there. So these vessels are known as xylem and phloem. Okay, so these vessels carry the two important function of the stem. Okay, these are all over the stem there. Okay, so second experiment you could do is that just you take a flower. Take a flower like this. Suppose let's say this is the flower. Take a flower having a stem. Okay, take a flower having stem and cut the stem into two pieces. Let's say I just cut this stem into two pieces like that. Okay, and I dip both the pieces in different pots here. Let's say I am having two pots of the colored water. Two pots of the colored water. Okay, here I have water and I dip both the stem here. Okay, so this pot is having the red colored water. Let's say this is the red colored water, and the another pot which is here, I think not visible there, so let me make it somewhat here. Okay, this is the another pot. Okay, I think visible now. Yeah, so let's say this is another pot. Here again you have the water, and the water is, let's say it is blue colored water. Okay, now after some time you would find out that the flower towards the red color has become red. The part of the flower towards the red colored water, because this is the stem, you have cut this stem into two sections. One section you dip into the red water and another into the blue water. Now after a few hours you would see that the part of the flower towards the red colored water, red colored pot, has become red. This part has become red, and the part of the flower that is towards the blue color has become blue. So this shows the presence of the vessels or the xylem and phloem in the stem. Are you getting this? So these, with the help of these two experiments, we just found that the presence of the xylem and phloem in the stem. Okay, so that's all for today. We'll be discussing about some other parts of the plants in the next upcoming videos. Till then, stay tuned and keep watching. Thank you. Have a great day.